And we're live.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to Mindset Monday. I am Shelley Butler.
And I'm Yves Doucet.
Yes, you are. How was your weekend?
Uh, well, I worked most of the weekend.
I know
Not
you
work,
did.
but not work, but I did something that was on my mind for the longest time. So it actually was really a good weekend. I had, well, a bit of sadness too. I went to a funeral.
Mm,
A young lady of like she was 44.
mm.
Did I tell you that about that?
You
Yeah.
did. You did. The discoveries that you
Ooh,
had there, though, was
like it's
amazing.
and I maybe just take her name is Krista Wallace, and I met her before, but I actually met her for the first time again. I'm going to say it that way, in Nashville, when I was at Joe Dispenza meditation retreat,
Mm,
and she was there to heal,
hmm
and a lot of people were there to heal. Anyways, I met her. We had some really nice discussions, and then she was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer last year, I think,
mm.
and she passed away last week.
Oh,
And
sending condolences to her family.
it's
Absolutely. That is too
what I,
young, much too
but what
young.
I did know was this, and this is the moment, right? So you never miss an opportunity to be in the moment. And so when I heard about her celebration of life, I decided to go. Although I didn't know a lot of people that knew her, like I was looking at her friends, I knew a few people, but I
Yeah.
didn't kind of dive into it. I just said, I think I need to be there for some reason. I didn't know why. I leaned into it, went into it, and so I was in line, and ooh, it's gonna be hard for me. Anyway, so I met her mom, and her mom and I went to school together,
Isn't that amazing?
and I didn't know. I didn't
Mm.
know that. So I paid my respect to her mom, and then paid my respect to her, and
Hmm.
sat in silence for a bit. When I started to go away, I heard my name being called, Eve, Eve, and I turned around. This young man, all dressed up, was there, like probably 17, 18 years old or something, and he said, "You remember me?" And I said, No." And he said his name. And my heart friggin' dropped. This young man we've been skiing together now for 3 or 4 years. He's a good friend of my grandson.
Yeah.
So I was connected to this young lady
Yeah.
in three ways: through her son, through her mom,
Yeah.
and through like me being at Joe Dispenza. And it just reminded me of that. How should I say? Like we have to live life to our fullest, right? Um, and we have to be cognizant that we're only here for a short period of time. And
Yep.
she's a lovely, lovely girl, um, and lots of positive energy. And so that was my weekend.
How
And
beautiful
I,
is that, though? I mean, just stay there for a second. How beautiful is that? That connection, that
Ooh,
energy that went out to say, you have to be there.
mm,
I mean, that is powerful. Sometimes we miss it.
we do, yeah,
Sometimes we miss it.
yeah,
If you hadn't have gone to that funeral, if you hadn't have been pulled, if you hadn't have been, sometimes I believe that we're guided. I believe
yeah.
that we have guides, and I believe that sometimes we're guided. You would have absolutely never known that trifecta of the impact that you had on all of those people. That young man,
Or they had on me.
it, and that's exactly what I was going to say, and how that was able to come back and give you so much peace. We don't know who we're affecting. We
Like,
don't know the energy that we're giving to others. Most of it is silent. The people that actually come up and say to you, "Oh, the videos that you did, oh, that
mm,
yoga class that you
mm,
taught, oh, that coaching session,"
true,
those
yeah,
those are the less than 1%.
it's true,
The
yeah,
amount of people that actually, oh, it's Christmas. The amount of people that actually don't say so anything to you,
yeah.
they just, live in that space, live in that energy. We have to be present enough that we can know that we're doing good things in this world.
And I love the fact that you're asking me to stay there for a second because, and I did stay there when I was there. I
Yeah.
stayed in that moment. I have to tell you, Shelley, that in my quest to find peace in my mind, right?
Hmm.
Because that's my quest to find peace, the separation of my mind and my body. That's my quest to
Yep.
find the authentic voice inside of me. I have no, not, I don't think I've ever been so emotional in my life. Like, what I mean by that is like, embraced that emotion to the deepest of my body and my mind. It meant something to me.
Yeah.
And you reminded me that that's living. And we just
That's
had that moment again, and that's living. It's not sadness to be sad. It's not, reminiscing about sadness. It's actually the celebration of life that we have for Krista, for her son, for her mom, and for us, right? And to be in that celebration of life every single day. So thank you for
that's
that reminder.
connection.
It is connection.
That's belonging.
100%.
At 100%. That family, what you've done for that family, you have absolutely no idea. And you'll forever be connected.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. I think if you start your day with presence,
Yeah.
like you'll feel like you I when I start my day with present, like if I start my day and I always remind myself of being present,
Hmm.
I have less and less doubts in my life.
Of course.
And if I can embody by choice, right, the future that I want,
Hmm.
if I can embody by choice, this is hard to
Yeah.
understand here, right? If I can embody, in other words, I'm saying I'm waking up happy and I'm waking up with abundance in my life and love in my life every single day. If I can embody that by choice, there will never be a doubt in my head, right? And it's a practice to get there.
It is. It is. And to say never, I always have I always have a difficult time with the absolutes. Of course, you're going to feel doubt, but
Of course.
if you
Yeah.
practice that abundance, if you practice with intention, if you practice being loyal to yourself and also being loyal to others, it's huge.
It's huge.
Yeah, it is huge.
Yeah.
So be present.
Mm.
Be in the practice of recognizing stuff.
And
And
and being in the moment, like it's like, and this is a discussion where I think we're always having on Monday morning. It's important to be truthful to your energy, that you're like to your emotions, your energy. And I saw this little meme. People keep asking me three questions since my little event like 3 weeks ago. One is, "Are you okay?"
Mhm.
And men would say, "I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine."
I'm
And
strong, I'm bold.
it's like,
We
"I'm
say I'm
okay,"
fine.
like that, right?
Yeah,
Men do that,
they
and
do.
if you know me, I will not say I'm fine if I'm not fine,
No,
right? I will
no.
tell you what I feel,
Yep.
and
Thank God.
that's important, right? And I also have this ring that measures whether or not I'm fine. If I'm lying to myself, I have my friends that tells me whether I'm fine or not.
Yep.
Have you? No, you might be in reaction still. And they stay deeper
Ah,
to the moment. So stay in the moment. Don't, like I always say in my yoga class, beyond the suffering there is, because suffering is made up in your head, right? So beyond
mhm.
the suffering, not pain. That's different. I'm talking about suffering, right?
Yeah.
The stuff that goes on. Oh my God, somebody stole my car or whatever, my keys, whatever my
My coffee mug.
maybe a car is a bigger thing. My coffee mug. I'll stick with the coffee mug. But we have stories about this,
We
right? And
do.
and that's the suffering we create about
Yeah.
ourselves. If we can get beyond that suffering, there is peace. There is no doubt about the future of your life.
Agreed.
Okay, so
Agreed.
sorry.
So we, as we have been doing this year, as we restarted our little show here, Mindset Monday, we have decided to bring real life business scenarios, and we're bringing most of them from the real Veronika. I want to give her credit because she's absolutely amazing in being able to tell these stories. In the background here, we have Angela, and she is our producer extraordinaire, and she's going to play us a little scenario while Eve and I make faces at one another, and then we will
What?
discuss.
It's the only face I have.
I know we will discuss how perhaps we would address that particular
Hmm.
business opportunity, if you will. Angela, take it away.
Hey, they said you wanted to see me? Yes, come on in, please. Are you happy here, Veronica? Am I happy here? I'm here to get a paycheck, I guess. I know that's not a popular answer, but that's the truth. When you first started here, you seemed happy, you seemed to like it. I mean, I know I was happy when I first started. I really liked the environment. I enjoyed my coworkers. I've made some really good friends here, but um, I'm just not. I'm not in tune with the culture anymore because I came to you guys in a time of need, and you guys showed me that this really is just a job, not a family. I feel like this was a chance for you to be the bigger person. I feel like you really had a chance here to demonstrate, those skills of being the bigger person. I had the chance to be the bigger person. I don't mean to laugh. I know that's a little disrespectful. I'm not the bigger person. I'm not. I like to match energy and I like to give what's given to me. So I still don't understand why this is such a big deal because you were asking me to do something on my own time, like outside of work hours, and that's not something that's required of me. So I don't know why this is even still a topic of conversation. This is my third meeting now about this same topic.
Hmm. Third meaning.
Third meeting about the same topic. Oh my
It
God.
takes 3 times to get it.
Where the hell do we start with this one? This one is a,
Well,
this
okay.
one's a,
So I think the first question would be,
are you happy here, Eve?
well, that's a good question, right?
I think it's a great
And I
question.
think if somebody answers, well, I'm here for the paycheck. I used to be happy here, and I'm not.
Then let's address that though. Let's address the paycheck comment.
Well, I like
Here for a paycheck.
I think the first question is, yeah, that's a paycheck. When somebody says, that's a good question. When somebody says to you, I'm just here for the paycheck, what does it tell you?
That they've already lost all hope, all trust.
Yeah.
There is a lack of communication, a total breakdown of communication, and you really can't go any further. There's nothing else to address here, but you're here for a paycheck. Now there's a lot of people that work just for a paycheck. There's a lot of people that don't want to be part of the culture, right? They like I have a home life and I don't want you people to know about it. And I got a business life. There's a lot of people like that.
Somebody asked me this. I was coaching this young girl, Angelique, on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
She has a small business, Spice. That's the video I shared on Instagram about the steak. You saw that?
I saw it. That was an
God.
awful lot of waste there, sir. But it looked lovely.
I'm doing a video.
I know.
It's like-
There was a lot of slap in that steak. I loved it.
But the steak, I did twice. There was 2 different steaks. Like, you know that there's 2 different cows. One from PI, one from New Brunswick.
Oh.
But
the PI was better, right?
no, the New Brunswick one.
New Brunswick one.
It was grass fed. That's the difference.
It makes a big difference. Yeah.
And
okay.
so, anyway, the steak was really good, and the spice is really good. Top
Back
notch.
to
Spice.
that
really good, top
paycheck,
notch.
Mr. Doucet.
So when so she asked me the question, how do you separate how do you get work-life balance? And this is my personal view, right? There is no such thing as work-life balance. There is life.
There's one life.
living,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So if you're just putting in the hours,
Yeah.
I think it's time for you to start saying, maybe I need to do something else because you're just putting on the hours. And it may be difficult to find another job because like you need to pay for the bills. Like I understand that. And a lot of people work to pay for the bills, right? But I think like our little discussion about Krista, you only have one life.
Happiness is
Oof.
key.
You have to
Happiness is
yeah,
key.
you
If
have to
you
keep
are not happy, get the hell out.
Yeah, you have to. I think you have to find another place, another way.
You do.
So
You do. Or you have to be able to communicate properly. See, the thing is once Veronika addressed, I'm here for the paycheck, that manager, that leader, that support person, however, whatever you want to talk to, should have completely and totally addressed that.
yeah, I'm not happy anymore. Like the question was actually it's a good question from the manager. You don't seem happy here. It's a
Yeah.
good.
Let's
but the
find
rest
out
was
why.
blame. But that question was a good question for me.
Absolutely.
Because then you say, okay, you're not happy here. Okay, then she gets into why she's not happy. I'm just here for the paycheck because
I didn't feel supported when I
didn't-
had a time of need.
yeah,
And-
big opportunity. big opportunity.
For me, it was a massive opportunity.
Mm.
And for me, if that manager had have said, "Oh my God, Shelley, I didn't know that I wasn't supporting you. Let's talk about it." If I had have gotten my issue addressed, we could have found a way back to communication, right? But Veronika also, she's always a little bit on that rude, on that edge line for me. Do you know what I mean?
Well, this is a kind of interesting thing. Like, is it your job to make someone else happy?
No,
Right. So that's the line as a
that's
manager,
the
right?
line.
It is not your job. It's not my job to make my wife happy, actually. That's not my job either.
Or my
Or
friends,
you. It's not
yeah,
my job. It's my job to make myself happy, right?
right.
So the question I would have for myself, if I've asked that question to Veronika as a manager, well, you don't seem happy. I would ask it to myself too. Am I happy? Am I happy with my job? It's like, am
Yeah,
I happy with this relationship? Is this working? If it maybe it's not, and that's the conversation you need to have. And sometimes it's impossible to have the conversation. Sometimes it gets off rail. It gets too far. It like, and now
yeah,
that's a good time to say, you know what, I need to go to the next step. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But Eve, can't you be the bigger person here? Can't you
Listen,
be?
Shelley, I was born with this body. This is the I can't go any higher than this. I can't go taller. I've tried. I've meditated on it. Grow
Can't
taller,
be
grow
the
taller,
girl
grow taller,
color.
grow taller. And I can only do it on this
Oh,
podcast because I can actually raise the seat.
raise the
So
chair.
in this podcast, I can be the bigger person because I have raised the chair. It's higher than yours. Or the other way to do it is just hire people that are shorter than you. So then
Yes,
you'll always be the bigger
be the
person.
bigger person.
What a
Yeah.
slap in the face
What a
that is.
slap in the damn face,
Can you
right?
be the bigger person?
I did not address it. I'm bringing you into
Mm.
a meeting for the third time in a row to see if you can be the bigger person because as your leader, I certainly can't.
Well,
I
this is
certainly can't
I think
address
this
it.
is um the classic view of I'm bigger than you, or you should take responsibility for your life. It's like what the boss is doing there is being the mother. She's saying, "Hey, take responsibility for your life." I believe that we should all take a responsibility for our lives. And Veronica didn't ask to be coached. Actually, she's saying, "Get off my back. You have a responsibility to show up when I need something. You have to be responsible to
Yeah.
listen to me
Yeah.
and to see if it's doable and see if you can support me."
Yeah.
Right? That and you weren't there. So I'm not asking you to give me life advice about, should I be the bigger person? I think that's a slap in the face saying you're not being
It
responsible.
is a massive slap in the face,
Yeah.
to have an employee address the culture piece, and that's exactly what she did. She's like, "You
Mhm.
guys showed me that we aren't a family. This is just a business, right? Because I wasn't supported as a family member."
Yeah.
So the thing is if we're going to go out there and we're going to talk about that we're a family, that we're supporting one another, that we're going to have each other's back, and then you slap somebody in the face and ask them to be the bigger person, you have completely eroded anything you have built. I've always been very, very firm in we have to be very careful in our culture set. Our
And,
culture
and, it,
set,
and it's very interesting because the irony is always in the things that you like. Irony never escapes me. You say you're something, right? But your behavior is something else.
and you can't do it. You cannot do it when you have a staff that you're trying to convince that they can take the time you need, take the vacation that you need. Make sure that if you wake up and you don't have the energy or you're not in a good place, please don't bring your dirty feet to work. Make sure that you go for that walk in the woods. Make sure that you're able. But yet, if you're constantly hitting on them to say, "Why aren't you here? Why aren't you, uh, um,
Why is your energy bad? Like, how do you address that? Like, that's like
yeah,
such a weird feedback. Why is your energy bad? Like, well, okay, like a better question would be,
how
how
can
do
I
you,
help?"
I see you're down today. Are you okay?
Yeah,
Are you okay?
yeah.
Can I help?
Like, can I
Right?
help?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Is
Like
there anything that I can do to
are you
support
okay?
you in this place kind of thing?
Like the
Like,
three question I was asked like recently,
yeah,
where are you going? Why did you leave? And are
Mhm.
you okay? Of
Yeah.
all those three questions, are you okay? Is the best question. Because people there are then reach out and say, hey, how can I help? Hey, I hear you. Hey, I'm here for you. They're by your side.
Well, it shows they care. Otherwise, the other questions just lean to gossip, right?
It does.
Yeah.
It blame.
Yeah.
It does
Yeah.
totally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So that big opportunity missed there by the manager.
huge
Huge.
opportunity missed. When you are trying to build a culture set, it is extremely important that you make sure that your words match. I know that you and I, in March of 2020, you came up with pillars, and you
Mm,
and I talked about them and we
yeah.
practiced
The
them.
pillars. Yeah.
And then you came up with practices
Yeah.
that will work towards the pillars, and you and I practiced them before we ever brought them to our team,
Yes.
right?
You have to
We
make
had to
sure it
make sure they
worked.
worked.
Yeah.
And when we both changed our way of being, when we both could see that we were in reaction or we were attached to that outcome in that meeting or we were trying to flex our muscle because it was all about us, and it took some heavy lifting. But the thing is you can't go back. You
No,
can't
you
be in
can't.
reaction
No.
and come into a meeting and be really crappy on people, unless you can say, "Oh my God, you guys, I'm so sorry. I am so in reaction, or I'm, in what just happened." Now the thing is at Dovico, that's love language. So
Yes.
everybody knows you're in a reaction. They'll let you turn your camera off. They'll let you, take a few deep breaths, whatever you need to do. Bottom line, we're all always going to react.
Yes.
Of course we're going to be attached. We want that feature set in that, we want that color, we want that, and being the boss. See, we come from a generation where the boss has complete and total control,
Yeah.
right?
And most that's
But
the
we don't do that
well,
here.
this is the revolution that's happening, the fight that's happening between the quiet quiet quiet
Quiet
quitting,
quitter.
yeah,
Yeah, and that's what
culture,
this is.
yeah.
That's what Veronica was.
Mm.
Veronica is the quiet quitter.
So
Absolutely,
so what?
because she's here for a paycheck. She's not here because she cares about the project. She's not here because she cares about the people. She's not here because she loves the energy, right? That leader blew it when she did not support her. So
Yes.
they said, so
Yeah.
Veronica came and told you exactly what you needed to know. You are not following through with your culture that you're talking about.
And this is so important because there is always the biggest thing I see in all businesses, and like I won't name companies, but like we set cultures and values. Say this is what we be, this is what we aim to be, and then people call us on it, and we get mad when they call us on it, right?
We used to.
So, and the problem is the reason I came up with practices and pillars is because it's not called perfection; it's called
Yeah,
practices.
it's practices.
So you have to, so the intention is always more important than the culture,
Yeah.
right? So we have a culture, hey, you should behave this way or you should do it this way, and then we set our goals to that. But what's more important is, the authentic like way that you see yourself in the values that you aspire to be, the feelings that you're looking for. So Veronica is obviously trying to get a feeling of belonging, and she doesn't get that. She's trying to get a feeling that she is her work is valued and is received and is and she's pushing to her limits for herself, and she's not doing that. She's looking for a place that will understand and have compassion, right? Because that's the culture that she joined at the beginning, and that's where she was happy, and she's
Yeah.
not getting that,
She
right?
said, I made
Yeah.
friends here. I thought the culture was something different. So see how quickly we can blow it.
You can. It's just
When
one
we
thing.
tell people it's
Yes.
one thing and then we do something different, right? So huge lesson learned here, huge opportunity that was missed, unfortunately, by that particular manager. I would recommend if you're having difficulty with your manager, to go in and tell them your truth, to go in and tell them how you feel. It's super, super important. I'll never forget my daughter was 19 years old and she was working at university, but she wanted to find a job. She felt that she could. And her old boss called her back that she used to work with when she was younger And I remember listening to that conversation, and she said, I will never work for you again. You are a terrible leader.
Mm.
And I think that you should work on that so you can continue to run your business. But I thought this 19-year-old, like you need a job. And how is that going to work for you? Now, mama has always told her, don't work for a dill pickle. Find your joy, right? But at the same time, it's like, hey, you want to pay your bills, you want to get stuff. Um, and she taught me a massive lesson in that moment. She stood up for herself. He was an absolute terrible leader. He treated people poorly. And she told him the truth. And she told him with kindness. She actually told him with the utmost kindness. I
I'm not that kind.
I like you. I like you. Um, but you're not a great leader. And to this day, this guy still runs the same business. And I can see from the posts that he does that he has become much kinder. Now,
Interesting.
could it be from Nicola's talk? Who knows?
Don't know.
But bottom line, if you're part of a business, whether you're running it, whether you're an employee, your happiness is first and foremost. And if you say your truth, if you tell the truth about how you're feeling, you will get somewhere.
Yeah. So there's a yeah. So I
Create
what do
connection.
what do we do at Dovaco
Hmm.
um to exemplify um building a better culture or actually separating the work, like creating that work-life balance, which Veronika talks about. Like she talks about, you called me after hours and like you didn't respect my time, that kind of thing.
Well, of course, Dovico has none of that, right? So it's not about working after hours. When I came to Dovico, it was we don't do overtime. You're able to do the work that you need to do in the allotted time, or you hire somebody, right? I mean, if it's too much work for one person, you have to kind of say, okay, well, it's I'm not able to do all that work in that 7.5 hour day. But we also went a step further. We took away sick time and we took away things like holidays. Now you take the time that you need. Now, it doesn't mean that you just skip out. It means that you have to get your work done because the thing is you have a team around you. Everybody's on a team. And if you're skipping out, you're letting down people on that team. They mean so much to one another that nobody here at Dovico lets down any of their teammates. Now, if something does happen that they have to leave, I have seen not 90% of the time, not 95% of the time, 100% of the time when somebody says, I'm not well, I have to, my dad's sick, my mom, whatever is going on, somebody else will pick up that work and make sure that they can go and spend the time with their loved ones or be sick and not have that guilt. So we've worked on that.
Mm.
We've absolutely worked on that. So we trust people. First and foremost, what that says here is we trust you.
I think sorry to cut you off there.
Don't worry about it.
Um,
I love it. Cut me off again.
so I'll slap you on the side of the face. Be the bigger person, will you? So one of the things that I think we do really well is have conversations about these so-called rules. In other words, okay, so turn off your phone is acceptable. Don't respond to emails. Don't respond to texts after hours. We have conversations about that. So there's a give and take from the manager and the employee that says, okay, maybe I shouldn't text you like that. Maybe I shouldn't. So once you have start to have a conversation, even though you have rules, then you can actually start to build a better relationship. It's not about the culture. It's about feeling a belonging. Culture is like just something that we call belonging, like you belong to part of something that's bigger than yourself.
A culture, community.
Yes. So
Yeah.
and the other thing that we have here is we have pillars and practices. So one of
Yeah.
the pillars is focus on one thing. So as the boss, if you're giving a job to a person and you're saying, "Hey, I did this next thing," what you have to understand as the leader is you're saying, "Hey, do these two things." So now there's stress being put on. If you do it again, this fourth thing, you change direction all the time because like you're the boss is a small boat, goes like this, right? Very fast. But the employee has to do the work, right? And that's like changing a big boat. You have to realize that. And I gave a speech to ACOA like 15 years ago, and to this day, right? I still have questions about that because the boss says, "Well, what if something urgent comes in?" Well, you as the manager have to decide, is this urgent? How can I have compassion for the employee receiving that text at 12 p.m. tonight, right? Can I actually say no? It can wait, or can I have this like? May I have this called? Can I have this time? Like it's asking for permission to disrupt the person who's doing the work. Like look, my son in his restaurant, he has this nice phrase called "May I." And I think that's universal. Like from the employee side, from the boss side, may
Mm.
I interrupt you? You're asking for permission because the person who's doing the work is focused. And when you take them off focus, they lose a lot of time.
That's it.
And it's not benefiting you. And I told this to the co-managers, and she looked at me and says, "So what if I have something that's urgent?" Well, that's when you become a leader and you make a decision. Does it mean like you actually understand that your ego is in the way of that person doing the job?
Mm.
So this is the pillars and practices.
It is. And that practice is called no self.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to, you really have to separate your importance away from the thing. And
Right.
yeah, we are time. So what a great way to end.
Yeah. It
What a
is.
great, yeah, what a great way to end. I think it's really, really important that we respect each other's time.
Okay.
And may I is a beautiful way
May
to do
I?
that. May
Yeah.
I?
Yeah. If you ask, may I, like it's going to create some sort of
Yeah,
different
I
thing.
love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I'm Shelley
Oh,
Butler. Oh,
can we do a little announcement? I know
sure.
we're running a little announcement. So there's a new event being, so it's live now, but I'm going to share it today on my Facebook, Instagram. And so it's coming out on January 11th. It's called Beyond Doubts. It's living a life of beyond doubt. So with no doubts in your mind of the future that you envisioned, if that's what you're looking for in life, to have a future self and not living in fear and regret. Well, I'm putting on a whole day, and it's not about motivational speakers. It's not about
Mm-mm,
me telling you what to do.
mm-mm.
It's about transformation, and
So
you'll get out of there with a different way to see yourself
I am
on
so
January 11th. It's
excited.
live on
Yeah.
my. It'll be live on my Instagram, and it's called Beyond Doubts. Yeah,
And of course, 111.
111. So what is
It's
the
my
meaning of 111? And the price is 111, by the way. So it
$111.
means that you see your future. That's what it means. You're embodying the future self that you want. And it's totally up to you to choose.
Mm,
This is the beautiful thing is you choose the future.
yep.
And it's different than manifesting. It's a different thing. It's
Yeah.
embodying it. And um,
You get to choose happiness.
get to choose the life that you
Yeah.
want,
Doubt your
right?
doubts. Oh, I
Beyond your
cannot
doubts.
wait.
Yeah.
Beyond your doubts. January 11th, it will be up on Eventbrite today. So you can get your tickets. They will go fast. I'm Shelley Butler.
I'm Yves Doucet.
This has been Mindset Monday. Mwah. Love you. Get your workout in.